The Philippine Navy sealift capability consists of ships that transport cargo and mariners who operate those vessels. The Philippine Navy currently has a shortfall in this area. The shortage of ships is more critical during Typhoon Haiyan, which hampered the Philippine government's aid response to the hardest hit parts of the country. With the transport capability of the Philippine Navy depleting rapidly, as the old logistic vessels are getting harder to maintain and becoming less capable, getting new transport and amphibious assault ships is equally as important in getting new fighting ships. To improve its amphibious capabilities in support of the Philippine Marine Corps, and also to boost its logistics support capabilities in overall support of the entire armed forces of the Philippines, the Philippine Navy has embarked on the acquisition of the Strategic Sealift Vessel, which is part of the armed forces of the Philippines Modernization Program. In this video, we will see how the acquisition of the Philippine Navy Strategic Sealift Vessel project, looking at how much it cost, how many units will there be, but more importantly, we will look at what it is capable of, and when we could see it in action.
330 for 62 low 665.
301 Freedom Marshal, case pre recovery, CV1 approach, expected final bearing 331, altimeter 3001. 301 Marshal 170, 24 Angels, Niner.
In 1991, the Philippine Navy planned to have at least 8 units of logistics support vessels, of which 2 units were bought from the U.S. government and were delivered between 1993 and 1994. The U.S.-made logistics support vessels were based on a helicopter-capable design of the U.S. Army's Frank Beeson class, known in the Philippine Navy as the Bacolod City class. These were envisioned to replace and complement the ex-U.S. Navy landing ship tank and decommissioned landing ship medium that were decimated in the Philippine Navy's fleet due to obsolescence and lack of funding to support maintenance and operation. Besides the first 2 units, no additional units were ordered. The Philippine Navy saw hope in the 1995 Armed Forces of the Philippines Modernization Act, which included a requirement for 4 amphibious transport vessels, although it did not specify which type it plans to acquire. But between 1995 and 2010, no new amphibious transport vessel was purchased or inducted into the Philippine Navy. The plans to purchase multi-role vessels started in 2005, when the Philippine Navy delegation at Index Asia 2005 in Singapore evaluated a Singapore Navy Endurance-class landing ship tank for possible acquisition. Initially, the price quoted to the Department of National Defense and Philippine Navy was within the budget, but it appears that the unit price of the Endurance class increased afterward, even in the less automated version. The Department of National Defense and the Philippine Navy's slow action to push for the program's success was overtaken by commercial and costs issues that ultimately stopped the deal from progressing further. After the failed attempt at the Singaporean Endurance class, the Department of National Defense and Philippine Navy looked for a cheaper alternative and found an answer from South Korea's Daesan Shipbuilding and Indonesia's PT PAL with the Makassar-class LPD, or its derivative. The Makassar class was built by Daesan for the Indonesian Navy. Some of the ships of the class were built by Indonesia's PT PAL under a technology transfer agreement. Initially, the Philippine Navy aired its desire to obtain at least 2 units, with each ship costing around 5 billion pesos. Negotiations for the deal included possible financing by the South Korean government as part of a loan package for military equipment, which the Philippine government did not use, freezing the price against escalations to avoid the same mistake as the Endurance-class project. In 2010, on the closing days of the Arroyo administration, the Philippine Navy was reportedly close to completing the deal for at least 1 unit for 5 billion pesos. This was the closest attempt by the Philippine Navy to have its first ever new large amphibious vessel, but this was later cancelled by the Aquino administration, citing re-evaluation for possible contract detail issues, specifically on suspicion of graft and corruption. In 2012, the Department of National Defense and Philippine Navy have already allocated 5 billion pesos for the purchase of a single multi-role vessels. With the only budget for 1 multi-role vessels, the Philippine Navy decided that it would make use of the allocated 5 billion pesos budget to still go after the vessels and choose the cheaper Strategic Sealift Vessels, as the Strategic Sealift Vessels is just a tad smaller and less capable than the multi-role vessels. Only a few of the original requirements of the Philippine Navy might be lost, but most of the major functions of the multi-role vessels can still be done by the Strategic Sealift Vessels. The Philippine Navy, through the Department of National Defense, has released the invitation to bid for the Strategic Sealift Vessel project. The project has an approved budget of 4 billion pesos for 2 units of Strategic Sealift Vessel. The cost includes the vessels and an integrated logistics support package for the Philippine Navy. The requirements are for the first vessel to deliver within 2 years from opening the letter of credit, and the second vessel to be delivered within 1 year from delivery of the first vessel. 9 potential bidders bought the bid documents from the Department of National Defense. Of the 9 potential contenders for the Strategic Sealift Vessel project, only to submitted their bids the PT PAL Indonesia and Daewoo Daesan of South Korea. But after further examination, the Department of National Defense only qualified the bid of PT PAL, while Daewoo Daesan was disqualified. Upon winning the tender, PT PAL underwent a post-bid qualification, which includes site inspections and checking the declared capability of the shipbuilder. As expected, PT PAL passed the requirements due to its previous experience in building similar vessels and its growing capability to construct more complex naval vessels, which includes the local construction of sections and completing the Indonesian Navy's PKR frigate based on the Dutch Sigma design. In 2014, the Philippine Navy has provided the Notice of Award for the Strategic Sealift Vessel project to Indonesia's PT PAL after passing the post-bid qualifications and inspections. In 2016, the first ship was delivered to the Philippine Navy, and the second ship was delivered in 2017. The vessel has dimensions of 123 meters in length, 21.8 meters breadth, and 5 meters draft. It has a crew of 121 officers and men. The vessel displacement, with empty weight of 7,200 tons, and full load capacity up to 11,583 tons. It has 2 diesel engines, each with 2,920 kilowatts output, coupled to controllable pitch propellers. The vessel is also equipped with an advanced navigation radar, with a cruising speed of 13 knots and a maximum speed of 16 knots. The ship minimum operating range up to 7,500 nautical miles at cruising speed, and maximum range of 9,360 nautical miles, and has endurance up to 30 days. The vessel can accommodate over 500 troops and guests, plus 35 infantry vehicles and types of equipment. And the helideck for 1 to 3 medium helicopters with a weight of 10 tons. And carried a total of 4 watercraft, 2 units of the 23-meter landing craft on the well deck, and 2 units of the rigid-hulled inflatable boat on port and starboard davits. Each rigid-hulled inflatable boat can carry 9 men, and with a speed up to 35 knots. Defensive armaments of this class originally include the main gun, heavy machine guns, and secondary or anti-air guns. The ships have provision for a 76mm gun each. As for secondary armament, the Strategic Sealift Vessel was planned to have 25mm naval guns, 1 each on port and starboard side. However, by 2019, both ships were only armed with 6 12.7mm heavy machine guns. These LPD's armaments are rather minimal to act as a mission ship. Electronic warfare equipment is also planned for the ships, although the actual implementation date is still unclear. Philippine Navy operates 2 vessels of this class. These ships were originally called SSV-1 and SSV-2, respectively, before the government officially named them Tarlac class, after the name of the Philippine province of Tarlac. BRP Davao del Sur was also named after a province in the Philippines. The lead ship, BRP Tarlac, participated in the 2016 siege of Marawi and against other terrorist forces in the southern Philippines. During the period of siege, the ship supported AW-109 helicopters, which conducted airstrikes and delivering the additional armored vehicles and supplies needed. It was also used to send and retrieve Naval Special Warfare Group attack crafts. As of 2020, another acquisition project for 2 more Strategic Sealift Vessels is still ongoing. Multiple shipbuilders are participating in this project, including PT PAL, which for one more time offers the Tarlac class for the Philippine Navy, following the success of the previous 2 Strategic Sealift Vessels. Today's patron and YouTube member shoutout goes to Jesse Contreras, Brian Cabilia, BGC Online Store, J. Patrick Manga, Cassie A., EJ Munciak, Francis Jared Rubilas, Francis Jeff Otter, Josel Tanimer, Mr. Scorpio, Luke Jason Lanos, Griffin Nash Alconaba, Andrew Gonzalez, and to our frontliners, Mary Grace Fuentes, Melody Yonko, Jima Otta, Lemuel Briones, Russell Jimenez, Darren and Dyther, Side, and Jury Sabati, Dana Wileen, and Ed Gaff friends. Thank you so much for all your support, and you all deserve nothing but gratitude.